I'm getting a good sense of the advice that you're giving to all of your corporate clients, but you don't just speak to corporate clients, you speak to education clients. How would you say that your advice to education clients differs from corporate clients?
That definitely has come organically, really on both sides. But education, um, they really reached out to me because they remember me from my days in the education world, either
Mm.
through New School or through my PhD work with Pedro Noguera. So Dr. Noguera, who's now a dean at USC, is one of the leading, pioneers around what's known as urban reform in education, urban education reform, uh, culturally relevant education, or what they call culturally responsive pedagogy. He's really one of the pioneers in that space, and I worked under him. He was my advisor, so I'm from his tree, I guess. So people understand the expertise that I have from the education side, but I also have this new fluency in AI. So they're like, oh, he can speak both languages. He understands our world. He understands what we're up against, but he can also lead us into this new world with AI. So my message when I'm on stage in the education world very much speaks to what they deal with on a regular basis because I can empathize with that. I've been in the classroom and I've done the education research with the best, like Pedro, to understand how to combine their pedagogy with technology. When it
Mm.
comes to the corporate world, the way it overlaps is I tell superintendents and school leaders and administrators, I'm going to treat you like my enterprise customers and clients because you can't just wait for someone to make a ChatGPT for the classroom. So often that's what happens. They see what they don't see what's happening in the real world, from an industry standpoint, and they just wait for someone to repackage it for the classroom and for education and say, I'm going to sell you the AI for education product. What I tell them is, don't wait for that. Be on pace with industry. Be on pace with the Visas and the Mastercards and the Salesforces of the world. Stay as tapped in as they are, so that way, when industry is moving, when innovation is happening, you're up to date as much as they are. Instead of getting the second wave of information, a year later, 6 months later, because someone made a rebranded version for the classroom. So I'm really trying to teach them how to get out of that mindset and really think like industry leaders.